The Wraith's vengeance? You destroyed the Wraith. With any luck, it's now gone for good. So was that him? Was that Radahn? Was he maybe bound in several places in this ruin? The Forsaken Circle down there. You know what's interesting is they had like a bone bridge, and like that was like a landmark, yes, but was it really worth an X on the map? Or is there something I missed down there as well? And you know what? I think I'm going to investigate, but it might well be a completely wasted venture. So I am going to cut through it unless something interesting happens. So back to the animal.
Tell me about your people, dwarf.
Well, elf, for starters. We do not like being called dwarf.
I apologize. Please tell me about your people, Oghren.
I'll tell you one thing. You bony human and elven types have nothing on our women.
You think I'm bony?
Yeah, look at that rump. You call that a rump? A man needs some cushion.
I have nothing to say either. Okay, so Vallana is capable of being polite as long as it's not to humans. And in showing curiosity towards a race which is not her own. Showing not necessarily... Okay, something must have happened here. Well, obviously something happened. I can't decide whether or not to be patient with Vallana or not, goddammit. Like, the whole Dalish thing is just... What happened? Humans enslaved Dalish people and subjugated their entire culture. Which is pretty bad. Okay, that's bad. Forced the Dalish into a nomadic existence, also bad. Fair enough. You can kind of actually see where the hatred would come from. However... The thing about racism is that it's never justified, because what you are doing, if you are a racist, you are instantly assuming usually negative connotations about a person due entirely to their ethnicity, be it, you know, either chosen, you know, I wouldn't say ethnicity, actually, religion. Does that fall under racism? I don't really know. There's probably like a separate word for it. But either way, I'm going to lump it together for the purposes of this point that I'm making here. Either by choice, you choose to follow a certain religion, or you're born into it, whatever. The point is that religion is something that you are able to choose. So, you know, you have prejudice against that person for those beliefs. Alternatively, you have prejudice against them because of how they were born. Now, being born as something does not negate any should not imply any hostility whatsoever. Caution, perhaps, because in Vallana's case, I could understand caution because of what humans have done. However, we have proven ourselves as allies and fought alongside each other for, you know, a good few fights now. And I made her and I accept her into the Grey Wardens. So she's still judging us as humans and not people. So I can't respect that. I will, however, tolerate it until I can be fixed to change it. And try to remember that there's going to be a story there in some form or another. Or at least I hope so, Vallana. For your sake. I suppose we could stretch the definition of racism to also encompass a culture. You know, like if somebody was born elsewhere but lived in a certain country among a certain culture to the extent that they consider themselves of that nationality in the end. And so that's something that you accept by choice as well. And what's interesting as well about racism, and I don't want to get too far into it because it's not what this video is about, it's just something which I'm talking about, and getting better at putting my own point across is something I would like to personally get better at, so I'm practicing on you. Enjoy. I'm not saying that racism is justified. I'm saying that there is more logic behind the racism against something that you choose to do, such as either choosing a religion or choosing to identify as part of a culture, than there is for being born into it. Because essentially what the person has problems with is a perceived set of values, where the negative connotations usually come in is that it's a misunderstood set of values. I mean, take take any kind of religious extremism and how that taints the view of the religion that surrounds it. People think that all, racist people who would then dissociate and view negatively people of that religion because they have, and in the past, viewed some extremism practiced by people of that religion are incorrect because that's not what the religion teaches. Now, if a part of a culture involves like intolerance or anything like that, then things get a bit more complicated. Imagine a race of people who, as part of their indoctrinated culture, not indoctrinated, as part of their internal culture, kill people from other cultures. Then are you justified being hateful to somebody from that culture? What I'm trying to bring this back to is essentially the Darkspawn. And this is something which has been on my mind recently because Nathan is, I think maybe having a little bit, myself and Nathan by extension is having maybe a little bit of a crisis of conscience. Darkspawn can now
Still with the deadly looks, my lady.
My lady is such a human thing to call someone.
It is a term of respect. You think it's human to be respectful?
Now you're mocking me.
I think you're a lovely woman, and due some respect. So I call you a lady.
Well, stop it!
Interesting, see? Discussion, guys, discussion. Okay. Before I do anything else, I want to, clear this up. End this freaking, train of thought that I found myself on. It's a very busy room. Nathan, by extension myself, is having a little bit of a crisis of conscience because Darkspawn can now talk, and Darkspawn have expressed interest in not harming me, only killing as much as they need to get their goals, the goals for which are still obscure, and in furthering their cause and sacrificing for the greater good. This means that their culture has changed somehow, or at least I think it has. Now, my previous assessment of the Darkspawn is they were entirely about the destruction and killing of everybody else. They were all about that blood, that warfare, that slaughter, and that murder, and it was always very easy to say, that's wrong. I'm going to pit myself on principle against every single Darkspawn that I see because they're all like that. Nathan's racist. That's a fact. He is automatically assuming hostility on the part of Darkspawn, every single one that he sees, and he has happens to be correct so far. Until he met the Architect, and until he met the whatever it was called. I actually forget what that Darkspawn that we first saw speaking was called. I forget if he did have a name. Was it in Awakened Darkspawn? I don't know. Awakening, huh? But if that's changing, then Nathan may need to change. The Grey Wardens may need to change. And that's complicated on several levels. What if the Grey Wardens were to start saying, hey, Darkspawn aren't all that bad? We'd be run out of the country in about 5 minutes. Losing this land, these titles, this foothold, the foothold that we need if a Blight ever resurfaces again. And so Darkspawn are making choices about what to do and how to do it, and whether to kill and who to kill. Then can I hate them on that principle alone? Can I war against them on that principle alone? I don't know. I'm trying to talk myself around to this, but I don't think I can. What I need to do is investigate. Luckily, I can, for the moment, continue to kill any Darkspawn that I see because they always attack first. Do you know what's good about this campaign so far? Is that we've both seen, as I started to mention when I was in the Wendywood, and I really did take off my jumper because I am burning up. And I apologize, I know I'm talking a lot at the moment, but there is some stuff I need to get straight. In the Wending Wood, I think I started to make a point saying that in Dragon Age Origins, you are often told that the Darkspawn are evil, they kill everything, and you're given plenty of evidence to support this. They kill Duncan, they kill King Cailan, and they carve a gruesome, bloody battle in the Korcari Wilds. And then they drag their victims off and make them either into food or brood mothers, depending on the gender. Horrible, horrible things happen to them, and yet for some reason it is never quite hit as hard as certain moments in this. But thinking about it now, I think maybe like the content is the same, but what we've got is this mirror of the Architect and of the talking Darkspawn saying that we wish no more death than is necessary. So now, for the first time in a long time, it's maybe pay attention to Darkspawn motives, and so now when they do something like kill innocent people or blight people and leave them for dead, or turn different factions against each other, such as what they did to Vallana here, I pay more attention and go, that's horrible, because I'm re-examining Darkspawn motives. So yeah, they seem to be doing more horrible things, but on the other hand, they're surprising me with occasional nods to some kind of morality that they follow. And what would Darkspawn morality even be? They even desecrate everything that they come across. Like religious icons, like human architecture, things like that. They corrupt it through spikes and through the decoration of corpses and things like that. I think what it comes down to, and I realize this is anticlimactic, is that I don't have enough information, but Nathan has always had all the information that he needs to be able to enact his duties as a Grey Warden with exactly as much fervour as needed to get done. And now he doesn't have that anymore. And that's always been an essential part of his character for me playing him, apart from anything else. Like, it's almost the core.
I may have misjudged you a little.
Just a little.
I sometimes paint all humans with the same brush.
As long as it's such a pretty brush. I don't mind.
I'm sure I don't know what that means.
It means your apology is appreciated, my lady.
Well, then, good.
Very good. Racism. It's a funny thing. And it cannot be summarized in a 10-minute video on YouTube. Don't make assumptions about people that you don't know. Even if they're part of a culture or a religion or race that you either don't agree with or have misgivings about. Like, just having them making assumptions, it makes an ass out of you and me. And I'm genuinely sorry for the video going in this direction, but you know, we are dealing with these themes in Dragon Age, and you know what, it's possible that in the editing process I'll think of a way to articulate better what I'm saying, and I'll probably, if I do, I'll put it in now, and I'll say kind of, if there's anything more I need to say, I'll say it, and I'll try to, for the love of God, say it concisely, because this is going to be going on a little bit. This has been going on for like 20 minutes of me just talking about racism. About it in general and how it applies to this story. And if you didn't hear anything just then, if nothing did come in post-production, then I guess I don't really have anything more to say on it. Or I couldn't think of a good way to say it. It's not a simple issue. Anyway, I need to shake this the hell off. I at least know what I want to do. I don't want to make assumptions about anybody. Elves, dwarfs. Although I've accused elves of being racist, haven't I? Like, default. I actually used the term elves and their racism as a slight against Vallana the other day. That is just so freaking hypocritical. I didn't like properly mean it, obviously, but it was a retort. I, Nathan, will try to not make assumptions about people if I can help it. No matter what race they're from. for now, unless they're Darkspawn. So from now, any Darkspawn that I see which does not attack me, like right off the bat, I will be cautious around, but I will not automatically necessarily be looking to kill in the same way that I have been in the past. Okay, that's going to be my operating stance from now on. I appreciate this will almost have no effect on like the kind of like linear story that Dragon Age has, mostly linear I should say, but it still makes me feel better to have kind of a stance for the character. You know, from like a role-playing perspective, it's just useful. Anyway, today we bummed around Vigil's Keep again. We held a day in court, and then we went out to just kill a few Darkspawn, seal that place back up so that we're safe from them again. Whatever they're doing back there. And then we talked about racism for a little bit. And you know, as a side, because fuck it, I'm talking about it now, and this isn't to do with racism, it's just to do with talking about things in general, is that I do really enjoy talking about things. But sometimes it feels like you've got to say it exactly right, you know? Particularly when it comes to issues like racism or sexism, things like that, you know, like using the wrong word or not quite getting your meaning across can be very damaging to debates, and people can get angry and upset and things like that. But just talk about stuff, you know? Discuss things. If you think somebody's used a word that you disagree with, then maybe challenge them on that word and give them a chance to explain themselves. They'll know what they mean, for the most part. But not everybody's great at phrasing it. I think I may be one of those people. I'm trying to get better at it though. It's important to try to get better, and the only way I'm going to get better at it is about discussing it. So yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I promise the next session we'll actually go and do some adventuring and shit. I'm thinking probably the Black Marsh. We do have like a journal entry for it to go here, and maybe the Knotwood Hills is kind of like the last stop that we make. Let's see. Yeah, Shadows of the Black Marsh. So that's where Kristoff is. You know, that makes sense as well to go there actually, because he might still be alive and we can then go retrieve him. We do have his memoirs after all. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, everybody, and in particular this session for listening to my ramblings about about topics not directly related to Dragon Age. Thank you for bearing with me on that. And I will see you in the next episode.